They threw her into the darkness, her body hitting the frozen ground with a sickening thud. Liora scrambled to her knees, her dress torn and muddy, her hands bleeding from where the iron chains had bitten into her wrists. Behind her, the massive wooden gate slammed shut with a finality that echoed through the silent forest. The torches of the Silvercrest Pack retreated into pinpoints of light, leaving her alone in the forbidden woods where no wolf dared to tread. "Please," she whispered, though no one remained to hear her. "Please, I didn't do anything." But the forest answered with a low, guttural growl that turned her blood to ice. Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy werewolf stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. Liora had always been different. While other children of the Silvercrest Pack shifted for the first time under the full moon, celebrating their wolves with howls of joy and acceptance, Liora had stood in the clearing, feeling nothing but the cold autumn wind against her skin. No wolf came. No connection to the ancient power that flowed through every werewolf's veins materialized within her. She was wolfless, and in a pack that valued strength above all else, she became less than nothing. Cursed, they called her. Broken. Worthless. The bullying started small. Other children refused to play with her. Mothers pulled their pups away when she walked by, whispering prayers of protection. But as the years passed and Liora grew into a young woman still without her wolf, the cruelty escalated. Warriors shoved her in the streets. Merchants refused to sell her food. Her own parents had turned their backs on her, ashamed to claim a wolfless daughter. Liora learned to make herself small, to avoid eye contact, to take the beatings without crying out. She survived on scraps and worked in the pack's laundry, washing blood and dirt from the warriors' training clothes. Her only wish was simple and impossible, to live peacefully, away from the pain. Then the sickness came. It started with Beta Marcus, the pack's strongest warrior after the Alpha. He'd returned from a border patrol complaining of fever and weakness. By morning he couldn't stand. Black veins spread across his skin like poison, and his wolf retreated so deep inside him that not even the pack's healers could reach it. Within 3 days, Marcus was dead. Then 3 more warriors fell, then 5, then a dozen. The pack descended into chaos. Alpha Garrett called emergency meetings. Healers worked day and night, burning sage and chanting protection spells. Nothing worked. The sickness spread like wildfire, targeting only the strongest wolves, draining their power until nothing remained but empty husks. Someone needed to be blamed. Elder Thorn was the first to say it. His ancient face twisted with certainty as he addressed the gathered pack. "This curse began when that girl came of age. She carries darkness within her. Her wolflessness is not natural. It's a punishment from the moon goddess herself. She has brought this plague upon us." "That's not true," Liora had protested, her voice barely above a whisper. "I would never—" "Silence!" Elder Morgana shrieked, her bony finger pointing accusingly. "You've been seen near the warriors' quarters. You touch their clothing. You carry the curse in your very blood." "I washed their clothes because you forced me to," Liora said, desperation creeping into her voice. "Please, I'm not responsible for this. I'm not cursed. But fear makes people irrational, and a frightened pack is a dangerous pack." Alpha Garrett stood before his people, his face haggard from sleepless nights watching his warriors die. He looked at Liora with something that might have been pity, but not enough of it to matter. "The elders have spoken. The beast in the forbidden woods has been restless. Our ancestors made a pact long ago. Blood for protection. We haven't honored that pact in generations, and now we pay the price." "You're going to feed me to that monster?" Liora's voice broke. "I'm innocent." "If you're truly innocent, the moon goddess will protect you," Elder Thorn said, his smile cold. "And if you're not, then your death will save us all." They came for her that night. Rough hands dragged Liora from the small shed where she slept. She fought, screaming for help that never came. Pack members lined the streets, watching in silence as the elders hauled her toward the northern border. Some faces showed guilt. Others showed relief. A few even showed satisfaction. "Please," Liora begged, her voice hoarse. "I'm one of you. I'm Pack." "You were never Pack," Elder Morgana spat. You're an abomination. The forbidden woods loomed before them, ancient trees twisted into shapes that seemed to reach for the sky like clawed hands. A thick fog rolled between the trunks, and somewhere, deep within, something howled, a sound that was neither wolf nor human, but something caught horribly between. The gate was old iron reinforced with silver, inscribed with protection runes that glowed faintly in the moonlight. It hadn't been opened in 5 years, not since the night the Alpha King had disappeared, and the beast had appeared in his place. The Alpha King vanished 5 years ago, whispered a young warrior named Cole, his face pale. They say he went into these woods chasing a threat and never came out. They say the beast consumed him. Silence, Elder Thorn commanded. He turned to Liora, and for a moment something flickered in his ancient eyes, something that looked almost like guilt. Then it was gone. May the moon goddess have mercy on your soul. They threw her through the gate. Liora hit the ground hard, the breath knocked from her lungs. She heard the gate slam behind her, heard the heavy bolt slide into place, heard the footsteps retreating. Then silence, so complete it felt like being buried alive. She pushed herself up, her hands sinking into soft moss. The fog was thicker here, swirling around her legs, cold and damp. The trees seemed to press closer, their branches forming a canopy so dense that barely any moonlight penetrated. Then she heard it, breathing, heavy and labored, coming from somewhere in the darkness ahead. Hello, Leora's voice was barely a whisper. Is someone there? The breathing stopped. Then came the growl, low, rumbling, filled with a rage that transcended human understanding. It was the sound of something that had forgotten its own name, forgotten everything except pain and hunger. Liora turned to run, but her foot caught on a root and she went down hard. She scrambled backward, her hands clawing at the earth, and that's when she saw it. The creature emerged from the fog like a nightmare given form. It moved on all fours, its body covered in shadows that seemed to writhe and pulse with their own life. Its limbs were too long, its spine curved at an unnatural angle, caught between human and wolf in a way that was all wrong. But it was the eyes that truly terrified her, glowing red like burning coals, empty of anything resembling consciousness or mercy. This was the beast, the monster that had haunted the pack's nightmares for 5 years, and it was lunging straight at her. Liora screamed, throwing her hands up instinctively to protect her face. The beast's claws were extended, its jaws open wide, and she could smell the rot and death on its breath. Her hand connected with its arm. The effect was instantaneous and impossible. Light exploded from the point of contact, brilliant, white, and pure, forcing Liora to squeeze her eyes shut. The beast's roar of rage transformed into something else, something that sounded almost like relief. The shadows covering its form began to peel away like smoke in a strong wind, dissolving into nothing. When Liora opened her eyes, the creature was changing. Its spine straightened, its limbs shortened and reshaped. The red glow in its eyes flickered, fighting against something, before finally shifting to a brilliant silver. The transformation was agonizing to watch. Bones cracking and reforming, muscles tearing and rebuilding, skin knitting itself back together. And when it was done, a man knelt before her in the mud. He was breathing hard, his entire body trembling with the effort of whatever had just happened. His hair was dark and long, matted with dirt and leaves. His skin was covered in old scars, evidence of years of transformation and pain. But his face was striking, all sharp angles and fierce beauty, marked by suffering but not destroyed by it. His silver eyes met hers, and in them, Liora saw clarity returning after a long absence. "What?" she breathed, unable to form a complete thought. "What are you?" The man's voice was rough from disuse, barely more than a rasp. "Not what they told you?" He collapsed forward, catching himself on his hands. His entire body shook with the effort of remaining conscious. Liora could see the shadows trying to creep back, could see the curse fighting to reclaim him. Without thinking, she reached out and placed her hand on his shoulder. Again, that white light pulsed, and the shadows retreated. The man gasped, his eyes focusing more clearly. "How are you doing that?" he asked, wonder and confusion mixing in his voice. "I don't know," Liora admitted. "I don't understand any of this. Who are you? Why are you here?" The man looked at her for a long moment, and she could see memories flooding back into his eyes, painful memories that made him flinch. "My name," he said slowly, as if testing the words on his tongue after years of silence, "is Rowan." Leora's breath caught. That's, that's not possible. Rowan was the Alpha King's name. He disappeared 5 years ago. He's dead. "I'm not dead." His laugh was bitter and broken. "Though there were many days I wished I was." "You're the Alpha King?" Leora stared at him, her mind struggling to reconcile the broken man before her with the legendary ruler of the Northern Territories. "But how? What happened to you?" Rowan's jaw clenched, silver eyes hardening with remembered betrayal. "My own counsel happened to me. The elders, Thorn, Morgana, and 3 others whose names I'll never forget. They wanted power, wanted to rule without a king to answer to. So they made a deal with a dark witch, paid her in blood and gold to curse me." "What kind of curse?" "One designed to destroy me slowly." His voice was raw with 5 years of anguish. "To trap me between forms, to take my mind and leave only rage and hunger. They stripped away my humanity piece by piece, turned me into the beast everyone fears. And then they spread the story that I'd been killed in these woods, that the beast was some ancient evil that had consumed me." Leora's mind raced, pieces clicking together with horrible clarity. "The elders. They've been ruling the pack since you disappeared. They have all the power now, and they'll do anything to keep it." Rowan looked at her intently. "They sent you here to die. They must have known you were different, sensed something in you that threatened them." "I'm not different," Liora said automatically, the years of being called worthless making the denial instinctive. "I'm just broken. I don't have a wolf. I'm nothing." "You're not nothing." Rowan's hand covered hers where it still rested on his shoulder, and she felt warmth spread from the contact. "You just broke a curse that the most powerful healers in the kingdom couldn't touch. You did what no one else could do in 5 years. That's not nothing." Liora wanted to argue, but the evidence was literally kneeling before her.